this is Renu and welcome to my YouTube channel. You have clicked on this video because you want to know that single tip which will make you fluent in English. Before telling you that single tip, I really want you to pay your 100% attention to this video and listen to me carefully what I'm trying to tell you and make you understand. Alright, now without further delay, let's deep dive into the video. To learn English language, we have here 4 important aspects. You must know we have 4 important aspects, that is reading, writing, listening and speaking. Okay, we are supposed to learn each and every one in order to get fluency in English. Now, reading and listening. These 2 aspects in one team. Just suppose we have 2 teams here. In one team, which is A team, we have here reading and listening. In another team, B team, we have here speaking and writing. Okay, so listening and reading and speaking and writing. Now let's talk about the team A. Alright, reading and listening. So reading and listening are the skill we consume the content. We consume the content by reading something or by listening something or watching something. Obviously we are watching and listening simultaneously. So we just consume the content by using these 2 skills, reading and listening or watching, you can say that. But we are just consuming the content. We are just keep consuming, right? At that point of time, our mind, our brain really doesn't have to do anything. It really doesn't get alert when we consume the content. And when it's about team B, what team B does for us, like when we speak something and we write something. When we speak something, our mind immediately gets alert what we are supposed to do in order to speak, in order to express ourselves, how to frame sentences, what to say, to explain ourselves. Whether you are writing something, right, your mind just immediately gets alert what to do because you are creating something, right? So speaking and writing, these 2 skills are the creation. These 2 skills are creativity. So if you want to speak English fluently, we must focus on creativity rather consumption, right? You can consume anything from anywhere. I mean the English content you can consume from anywhere. Now we are supposed to speak more and write more. I mean, of course, speak more. Speaking comes from speaking. So we are supposed to speak more if you want to become fluent in English. But we really don't do that, right? We always keep consuming. We always keep consuming English content. We really don't give time or make time for our practice for speaking English. But we really want to become fluent in English. Is it possible? What do you think? Speaking English is a creative skill. And whenever we learn any creative skill, we are supposed to create more. Over consumption, over consume the content. Okay, so try to create more and more, try to speak more and more. And you can never ever become fluent until you try, until you speak or practice. And if you are not trying, you are not going to become fluent in English until you try, until you practice English. So make sure that you are focusing on creating rather than consumption more. All right, now the point is that how much time we need to give. We have this time, that time, limited time, what we are supposed to do in this case. So I would say here, if you have 15 minutes or 20 minutes in a day, if you have 15 minutes or 20 minutes in a day, then make sure that you give your time 15 minutes, completely 15 minutes to speak, okay, for your speaking. And if you have some extra time, 5 to 10 minutes, then you can write something. Because both activity you are doing, whatever you are doing, I mean the speaking or writing, you are speaking, you are being engaged in that activity and your mind is activating, your mind activated. And of course, when your mind becomes creative, you can easily learn the skill. When your mind becomes creative, you can easily learn the language and become fluent in English. So make sure that you activate your mind. You actually create the output with the information or content you consume. You create or produce the content or the output. So make sure that you are producing, or you can say creating more. over consumption. That is also important, but make a limit for that. For example, if we can just understand it, if we have 100% is here, then we must give 90% our energy for speaking, to practice our English speaking. But for the 10% we can consume English content, right? It will be enough for us to create something, to learn the language. If you consume English content 10%, you can easily produce, you can easily create, right? And the creativity is important. Our mind must be alert and activated to learn the language, and it will automatically become create, and we will learn the language, become fluent in English. So make sure that you are being creative over consumption. You consume the content, set a limit for this. All right, but people, I don't know why they just always consume, they always keep consuming the content, and then they just they expect that we are going to become fluent in English if we consume the content. And I believe it is not going to be happen ever. If you are just consuming but you're not trying, you're not making efforts toward creativity, you're not creating the content, you're not producing something, right, with the help of that information which is fed in your mind. As a student or working profession, you may have set goals to study abroad or to work with international companies. Now when we work in international companies, we are supposed to be good, in English language, right? And to speak English even better than writing. See, we are not bothered that much with writing, but we are bothered a lot with speaking, right? We are bothered so much with speaking, we are not becoming fluent in English. However, we are consuming more and more. So consumption is not going to work for you. Make sure that you are being creative. It is a language, one of creative skills. So just treat it as a language. Don't treat it as a subject. If you will treat it as a language, you are going to enjoy English learning process. You are going to enjoy the journey of learning English. And of course, the journey is going to be super easy for you. Once you know how to treat the language, how to actually learn the language. Okay, so just treat it as a language, as a practical skill which comes from practice only. Just try to practice more and more, and focus on creativity over consumption. Your focus must be 90% on creativity, not consumption. And 10% you can consume the content, English content, in order to become fluent, in order to create, right? Once you know how to create, you will become fluent in English gradually. So your 90% concentration must be on creativity and 10% on consumption. Just consume content only 10% and focus on creativity. Then only you are going to become fluent in English, because you are actually trying the language, you are practicing the language practically, right? And it is a practical skill, and we must do it practically. Just don't imagine only, just try it practically. So this is that single tip which I really wanted to tell you, what you are doing and what you must do in order to become fluent in English. I hope you like the content, whatever I have shared with you, as well as the efforts behind it. I tried so hard to make you understand that what you are doing and what you're supposed to do in order to become fluent in English. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. And of course, if you're new here, subscribe this channel right away. And share your feedback about this video in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet you in the next videos.